potatoes, tomato, green bean, potatoes, tomato, green bean, potatoes, tomato, hey. Look at T.Roy. Oh, dang. Hey, Miss Mack. Blow T.Roy, that was you. The Jakes.
Oh, we got part 4.
Part 4 that Goonie. Who y'all said tweak with? Who y'all want to tweak with first? Cushy now. Who was Cushy now? Who was Cushy now? The Stowe Brothers. Goonie now. Goonie now? Yeah, Goonie now. The Bust Stop Brothers? Yeah, Part 4. Part 4? That's 3-2. Because he was in the middle of both of them, so Part 3, Part 4. Look at the end.
In the murky underworld of Chicago's South Side, revenge has no expiration date. When the sun sets over Oblock, the streets don't sleep. They whisper names. Names of the fallen. Names of the hunted. But in early 2017, one name echoed louder than all the rest. T.Roy. His death wasn't just a loss to his set. It was a declaration of war.
He was getting something off the shelf. Dude walked all the way around, came in his bag, shot him up. He rolled around on the floor. He ended up crawling all the way around here, up into where my boss was, right here. This way.
Oh, so T.Roy actually crawled in there.
And within hours, lines were redrawn in blood. Oblock and 600 weren't just gangs anymore. They became a singular force, reborn through rage. A machine with one purpose, revenge. They called it OB 600. And those closest to T, they didn't mourn. They loaded up, and in their hands, vengeance found a trigger. The streets always know before the news does. That evening, a chilling message hit Twitter. Y'all gonna see, ain't nobody safe. Posted a 600 member. The tweet wasn't a threat, it was a promise. And it didn't take long for the promise to be kept. Just 3 months later, the first body will fall. Warren Denton, better known on the streets as Lil Ho, was no kid in the game. 44 years old, a known figure in Gyro City, and ironically, the uncle of 600 Breezy. But blood ties meant nothing in this war. Lil Ho's age didn't protect him. His money didn't save him. On May 15th, broad daylight, on 61st and Eberhard, shots rang out. Witnesses say there were 4 shooters. One of them stood over Lil Ho as he bled out and finished the job, dead at the scene. One shooter, wearing jeans and a black hoodie, was rumored to be McAdoo, a name that would soon be whispered across the city. Even more unsettling, months later, 600 Breezy himself would be pictured with McAdoo, smiling. Family didn't matter anymore. 7 days later, the killer struck again. Jamo, a member of MOB, was behind the wheel on 59th when a car crept up beside him. One burst of gunfire later, he was hit in his chest, back and arm, and left slumped over the wheel. By midnight, he was gone. The same weapon that killed Lil Ho recovered again. Same make, same signature, same mission. And who had that gun when police finally got to it? McAdoo. If the rumors were true, he caught 2 bodies in a week.
No, loyalty. No, you read that sweater. Loyalty. Time bomb.
All play.
No reflex kicks.
But it wasn't good enough. Not for OB 600. The group believed the real orchestrators of T.Roy's death, Taekwon World, hadn't paid yet. And that's where Poppie comes in. 18 years old, Taekwon World's right-hand man, close to TB, the man allegedly behind the killing of T.Roy. They made music together, talked war and lyrics, laughed on surveillance footage the night T.Roy was murdered.
Full deal, Papa Doc. Papa Doc, get you shot, roll that dope up, kid. Let's do it. You know?
But on June 16th, the laughing stopped. Poppie was working a shift at the L&P candy warehouse, helping an elderly woman carry her groceries. He didn't see the maroon car until it was too late. A mass shooter stepped out and opened fire with what witnesses described as an AK-style rifle. Poppie was hit repeatedly, including 3 times in the head. He was rushed to the hospital, but died hours later. A woman screamed beside him, frozen in terror. Strangers rushed to help, but there was no saving him. And the man believed to have pulled the trigger, T.Roy's own blood, HK. His nickname after that day would change. They started calling him Headshot King.
Help him! He's still breathing, y'all. Help him!
He's still breathing.
He's still breathing. Help him! Hello?
That way.
Man, that man's still breathing. Help him! He's moving.
He's still breathing. Talk to him.
Hey, don't.
Talk to him. He's still breathing, bro. Talk to him. Talk to him, bro.
Ray, come on!
There was no silence after the murder, no remorse. Instead, the internet lit up with taunts, photos, chains, hashtags. OB600 wasn't just seeking revenge, they were celebrating it, flaunting it, turning death into theater.
Right. She laugh herself. Right. She gonna laugh.
One member, E-Dog, who had even changed his handle to EOY, Essence of Youngin, tweeted something sickening. Killing is better than sex. Chilling and familiar. The same kind of sentiment another killer tweeted years earlier after a high-profile hit. This wasn't just a feud anymore. This was something else. A sickness. A cycle. But the storm didn't end with Poppie. 12 days later, the streets ran red again. Janae Dowell, a 32-year-old mother of 3, was driving through Washington Park. Known as White Girl, she wasn't a shooter. She wasn't a gang leader, but she lived in MOB territory. That was enough. She was with a friend, Juliet Washington, in the SUV when the gunman opened fire. No warning, no words, just bullets. 2 women, 2 mothers, another tally, another example. Because by now, OB600 had become a machine, consuming anyone in its path. By the end of June, the Get Back gang had left a trail of bodies. Lil Ho, Jamo, Poppie, Janae, and Juliet. 5 lives, 5 families destroyed, 5 messages sent. But what no one knew was that summer had just begun. And the most chilling part, nobody was safe. Because the Get Back gang wasn't just coming for soldiers, they were coming for anyone. And what they do next would make the city shake. On July 17, 2020, barely a month after White Girl and Jamo's murders, the city was rocked by another double homicide. This time, the targets were directly connected to FBG Duck, his cousin Kobe Mack, and his older brother, Brick. The 2 were outside during a block party on STL's side when a white SUV pulled up. A shooter jumped out and began spraying the crowd. Kobe Mack dropped instantly. Brick ran, but the gunman gave chase, cornering him in an alley and firing multiple rounds. Witnesses say Brick was trying to climb a fence when he was struck. His body was found moments later, slumped in the alley.
So they were standing out there, and this block was full of people. And the story that I'm hearing was a car pulled up and asked for Duck. Like, yo, Duck out here? And everybody looking like, who is you? They didn't recognize who was in the car. But Brick knew who was in the car. And he linked in there, and he was like, oh, what's up? And I kind of figured like, well, who was this person that Brick knew? And if they was on from 39th, Kobe would have knew him as well, because Kobe didn't even know who they were, because his words was like, who is you? You know what I'm saying? And after that took place, then that's when, from witnesses and people who have told me that Supposed to have been a car waiting in the back behind where they were standing. And then a car came up the one way and they instantly shot Kobe. And Brick tried to run and jump a gate and was shot in the back. And he was also, I'm assuming the way his autopsy report was that as he was running towards the back, somebody was back there waiting on him. So I wasn't aware that he was shot in his face until I went to identify him.
Street rumors exploded. Some pointed the finger at Muwop, HK, McAdoo, and even Cap, all alleged O-Block hitters. But not everyone agreed. Mama Duck herself questioned the narrative. She believed her son's killers weren't outside at all, but people he knew, people from STL, people who could get close. Cap, a longtime STL native, suddenly became a suspect in the eyes of the internet. He had beef with Brick. Old tweets resurfaced showing threats and arguments, and just minutes after the double homicide, Cap posted on social media claiming he was elsewhere. But for many, it looked more like a staged alibi than a coincidence. With Brick, Poppie, and Kobe Mack gone, there was only one name left on the Get Back Gang's list: TB, the man rumored to have killed T.Roy. TB wasn't hiding. In fact, he was still seen around the same area where the murder happened. It was only a matter of time. On August 26, TB and a friend were ambushed on the 7000 block of South Chappelle. Both were shot multiple times. TB died at the scene. Police believe the hit was calculated, ruthless, with reports saying the shooters even paused to reload mid-assassination. TB, the alleged T.Roy slayer, was gone. In just 3 months, O-Block and 600 allegedly avenged T.Roy with a brutal body count. 7 lives were taken, some innocent, others deeply entrenched. But in this cycle of gang violence, no death is ever the last, and no revenge is ever enough. The Get Back murders left a permanent scar on Chicago's South Side. But in a city where death becomes currency, even revenge has a price. Families shattered, children orphaned, lives lost for names etched in Twitter bios and gangland myths. The war between O-Block and STL didn't end with TB. It only evolved into deeper violence, federal indictments, and unsolved murders. In this cycle of pain, who really gets the last word? Alright y'all, there y'all have it, man. That's been the story of the Get Back murders for T.Roy. Hey man, get in that comment section. Let me know what you think. Drillers and trappers, we outside trapping and drilling 247. You already know, man. Don't go nowhere. Watch that next video. Gang!